Right now, without you doing anything, your body is flooding itself with stress hormone. It happens to literally everyone every single morning. It's called the cortisol awakening response, and it's one of the most well-documented patterns in sleep science. Most people fight it. They reach for their phone, get hit with 50 emails, and let that stress spike set the tone for the next 12 hours. But here's the part almost nobody talks about. That same hormonal spike that gives you brain fog and a tight neck is also the window where your brain is most receptive to change. Not because of some suppressed secret, because of basic neuroscience around arousal and learning that's been studied for decades. There's a 7-minute sequence, breathing, visualization, and one spoken sentence that's used in different forms by performance psychologists, physical therapists, and clinical anxiety treatment. Today, I'm walking you through the actual version, the actual science behind each part, and what you can realistically expect if you do it. No hype, let's get into it. Within the first 30 to 45 minutes after you wake up, cortisol, your primary stress hormone, rises sharply, often 50% or more above your sleeping baseline. This is normal, and it's not inherently bad. It's part of what gets you alert and out of bed. The problem is what most of us do with that spike. We immediately add more stress on top of it, checking notifications, rushing, catastrophizing about the day. That combination is what tends to show up as neck and shoulder tension, a foggy head, and that wired but tired feeling. Here's the useful part. Cortisol and general physiological arousal aren't just bad. In the right dose, they're linked to heightened attention, and research on stress and learning suggests they can actually support memory consolidation and neuroplasticity, your brain's ability to form new connections. The goal isn't to eliminate the morning stress response, it's to direct it instead of letting it direct you. That's what this sequence does. It's 3 tools, back to back: controlled breathing to bring your nervous system into a more regulated state, a short visualization to engage focused attention, and a spoken statement to anchor an intention for the day. None of this is mystical. It's the same basic toolkit used in CBT-based coaching and athletic mental prep, just compressed into 7 minutes. Let's walk through it. Sit on the edge of your bed, feet flat on the floor, spine relatively upright. Minutes 1 through 3, regulated breathing. Place your left hand on your heart and your right hand on your belly. We're going to do a paced breath cycle. Inhale for 4 seconds through the nose, letting the belly expand under your right hand. Hold gently for 4 seconds, no straining. Exhale slowly for 6 to 8 seconds, letting the belly fall. Do 6 cycles of this. Why the long exhale matters? Extended exhalation is one of the more reliable ways to stimulate the vagus nerve and shift your nervous system toward a calmer, rest and digest state. This is supported by real research on heart rate variability and paced breathing. It won't shut down pain signals, but it reliably lowers physiological arousal and can take the edge off tension within a few minutes. Minutes 4 and 5, focused visualization. Close your eyes. Spend 2 minutes picturing your day going well, specifically. Not vague positivity, a concrete scene. See yourself handling a hard conversation calmly. See yourself finishing a task you've been avoiding. Make it as sensory and specific as you can. This isn't about brainwave states, it's simpler than that. Mental rehearsal is a well-studied technique in sports psychology and performance coaching. Vividly imagining a scenario activates overlapping brain regions to actually doing it, which is part of why athletes and public speakers use visualization to prepare. It doesn't guarantee outcomes, but it's a legitimate way to prime focus and reduce anticipatory anxiety. Minutes 6 and 7, the spoken intention. Open your eyes. Choose one short, present tense sentence that reflects how you want to show up today. Something like, "I'm focused and I follow through on what matters." Say it out loud 3 times like you mean it. Speaking a goal aloud rather than just thinking it engages more of your brain, motor and auditory regions, not just internal thought, and tends to make the intention more memorable and more likely to influence behavior later in the day. This is sometimes called an implementation intention in psychology research, and it's a real replicated effect, even if the size of that effect varies from person to person. Now, let's be honest about what this can and can't do. In the first week, many people notice calmer mornings, a bit less reactivity to stress, and maybe less tension by mid-morning. That's consistent with what we know about paced breathing's short-term effects. Over a few weeks of consistency, habits like this tend to compound. Better morning routines are associated with better sleep and stress regulation over time. If you're carrying chronic pain, breathing and stress reduction practices can meaningfully help you manage symptoms, but they're not a cure. And if pain persists, that's worth bringing to a doctor or physical therapist, not something to self-treat with a morning ritual. This is not going to rewire your brain in 30 days in some permanent, dramatic sense, and missing a day will not erase your progress. Consistency helps because habits build through repetition, not because your brain resets on a strict penalty clock. Give yourself the grace to miss a day and just start again the next morning. Try this for 7 mornings in a row, not because missing one ruins everything, but because 7 days is enough to actually feel whether this fits your life. Sit on the edge of the bed, breathe, picture the day, say the sentence. If you try it, tell me in the comments how the first morning felt. I read all of them, and I'll check back in on this one in a week.